Well, just because it's fall doesn't mean you can't have beautiful fall containers. I'm with Sarah at the Division Portland Nursery. And so Sarah, I think this is a great time of year to make a container. What do you think?
I do too. I love making front porch containers this time of year because it just really, sometimes we need that extra little poof
Definitely.
in the fall and winter to give us some happy cheer.
Yeah, and the days are going to maybe be like this, and so we can really kind of create, right?
Yes, I agree. And we've picked quite a few things that give some fall color, and not necessarily as much color as you're going to get in the spring, but a lot of things like, for example, this camellia is evergreen and winter blooming, so it's one of my favorites for fall planting containers because it gives that upright look. And we've also talked a lot in the past about how different textures can be really important. When you're making a container, if you have everything the same texture, you're not going to be able to tell it apart. So you want different heights, different textures, contrasting colors, or complementing colors. So grasses are great ones to add that different texture if you're not sure what to throw in.
I love the motion too.
Yeah.
Especially on a rainy day, it's really going to be pretty.
Yeah, and I think the grasses are so, like, we have grasses most of the year, but I think of fall when I think of some of these grasses. And some of these heucheras here, you've got the coloring, but not, maybe not the flower, but these are evergreen that will show this color. And you picked this green one because it's so happy and cheery, and I agree. Yeah. I love having something that's just a little bit of color in this time of year.
Definitely, and it is a color spot without having a bloom, but then you have pansies, which are really so smiley this time of year.
Yes, these things are tough.
They
are probably one of the toughest flowers, that they go through the year. Temperatures usually don't bother them. It's usually the moisture. Yeah. So like too much water is where they can get into trouble.
Right.
I love the kales.
Yeah, look at this. Isn't it? I mean, you could just put this in one pot. It would be great.
Yeah. The veining on it is really great. And then some of these heathers as well are one of my favorite plants to throw in.
And I see you have hellebore, and the hellebores really won't be blooming for a long time, but really it's a thing to look forward to, just like your camellia.
Yeah, I never miss a chance to plug in a hellebore. It's got the evergreen leaves, shade tolerant. Once it outgrows the pot, you can find a home for it in your yard. But yeah, anything that has that winter bloom, I'm such a sucker for. Yeah,
definitely. And you were talking about sun or shade. Do we have to worry about it as much going into winter?
Not as much going into winter, because most of the things that are in full sun aren't getting, the usual summer sun that they would anyway. Right. So that's a really good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at what we have hiding here. We have spring bulbs to put in, which I think is another surprise that they'll come up when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, especially when you have, if you're planting something that is perennial, that will hibernate, these will come up at the opposite time, and it's always such a nice surprise when the bulbs come up, and you kind of forget about them by the time they start coming up. So
I think that's so true.
Yeah.
And what I love too about your website is that you have a container of the month, so it really kind of helps us get more ideas, and then you actually archive them so that we can go back and see some for more ideas.
We do, and it's one of my favorite things because different staff come up with these different creations. So there's tons of different styles that are unique to the different people that work here. And we do archive it, so it's like, oh, you want to see what's good to plant in September or October. You can go through and see all the things that we typically have in season, since we do have a cyclical season to our inventory.
Oh, that is great. And so I love the idea about the ideas, and they have a great website, has so much information. So please go to gardentime.tv, click over to their website, but go out to the Stark and Division Street Portland Nurseries and get some plants for your fall containers. Sarah, thanks so much.
Thank you.